So the new update of Genshin Impact got revealed some days ago. And I will be honest, it looked peak once again. There are a couple of interesting things the trailer show. The Fatui invading Sumeru, Kale vision of the burning tree, new character, and of course Dottore return. But is that Radium? Well, in today's video, I will talk about the upcoming Archon quest, give my theory speculation, and explain how it could impact the future of the game. Let's get started. Okay, so the first question we may have is, how is Dottore alive? Did we get rid of him 2 patches ago? By blowing him up? Well, yes, we did. And he's still dead. Because the one we see, it's not him. Or at least not the one we met in Sumeru and Outcry. I believe the Dottore we saw is some sort of virus, in the form of a digital clone of himself. With all the data he collected during his experiment, such as the one he did in Sumeru and Outcry, and thanks to his god powers, he seemed to have used forbidden knowledge. The reason why he could use Radiant Shogun abilities is simple, really. He probably used data from when he was building Scaramouche as a god with the Electrogenesis. Also during his attack, he seemed to use red cubes, similar to the ones used by Asmodee. With this, Dottore became more than a god, but a completely new entity. His perfect experiments, as he said. That's why the boss is not called Dottore, and instead look more like an experiment, or virus, named Exalted Master of the Heretic Path. Now you may wonder, a virus for what? Well, to corrupt the system linked to Irminsul, and destroy the tree itself. What system I'm talking about, though? Let's not forget the Akasha system. Was linked to Irminsul. Even if Naida got rid of the terminal, the system probably still exists. And if that's the case, the system can be hacked by a virus. Once it gets in, it's going to be only a matter of time before Irminsul falls. Unless we stop him, of course. However, how will that virus appear in the system? Simple, someone from outside the system, and the one who will probably burn Irminsul from the outside is ally Pantalone. After nearly 4 years, Kale's vision of Irminsul burning is finally happening. The fight 3 on already to achieve this final phase and invade Sumeru. After the experiment with Scaramouche becoming a god and the success of becoming a moon god, it was time for the final stage of the Dottore plan. Everything that happened involving the Doctor was going according to plan. I won't even think that he predicted Naida would ask him to delete his clone. He may have destroyed him, but his goal was, in the end, achieved. The creation of the virus is now done, and his ally Pantalone sent some fightry to invade and occupy Sumeru. Once it was a success, he probably found a way to insert the virus, and once it began corrupting Irminsul, that put Naida into some sort of coma. So yeah, Dottore and Pantalone were probably partners since the very beginning. That will explain how Dottore was able to get funding for his project. However, did the Tsaritsa gave the order to kill Dottore because he betrayed the factory? That's basically what Child said to Alikino in Outcry. So why would Pantalone work with Dottore then? I mean, he could be against the Doctor and invade Sumeru to stop his plan, similar to Sandrone and Alecchino. But I highly doubt it. So does that mean he betrayed Her Majesty too? No, I don't think so. I will be honest, the Sarissa probably agreed with burning him and so. The reason she gave the order to kill Dottore is either because she believed that Dottore went too far in not trying, or because she wanted to get rid of him after he fulfilled his purpose. So no, Pantalone is not going there for his own agenda or Dottore alone. He was sent there to conclude the plan. Once the virus begins destroying Immersoul from the inside, Pantalone will burn the outside. There are two possibilities, or they are going to burn it. Either they use the flame of Alecchino, since she gave some to Dottore at some point, or the Fatui succeeded in gathering the pyrogenesis. That could explain why Mavuka is on a banner. Let's explain now why they want to burn Immersoul. What would they gain by doing this? Well, Pantalone say something quite interesting about this. Does the Heavenly Principle rule with wisdom or folly? Normally, a god should be benevolent and full of wisdom. However, since the Heavenly Principle decided to rule Teyvat, only bad things have happened. Like the Celestial Nail wiping out entire civilization, or the punishment of the angel. We could say they indeed rule with folly. Then Pantalone continued saying, how can we be so sure the seven who wield authority over the world will not be corrupted? This can mean two things. Either the corruption you speak of is that the Archon could become like the Creator, or he's speaking about the Abyss. Personally, I think he is talking about the Abyss. As we know, forbidden knowledge can corrupt everything, even gods. Look at King Deshret. He became obsessed with his research on the Abyss, and this resulted in the destruction of his civilization. It also brought the Withering and Elazor. So I believe the reason for burning Immersoul is in some way to purge and cleanse the Abyss corruption, but also to break the Heavenly Principle control over fate. But how does Pantalone plan to do that? Well, let's not forget the Akasha system was linked to Immersoul, and as I say earlier, the system probably still exists. And if that's the case, the system can get hacked, and that's where the Dottore comes in. What's going to happen, I believe, is that first, Kali will have a vision of Immersoul, and not long after that, the Fatui will arrive to occupy Sumeru. Naida would fall into a coma because of the Dottore virus, and they would take the city without much problem. That's when someone would call the Traveler for help. Probably Naida inside a dream. From what we see in the trailer, it seems Sumeru City got evacuated. As thought is with the Sumeru characters, I assume the people took refuge inside this temple, the very same one we visited during the realm exploration event. Thoth cannot get out of his temple, so it has to be there. Let's also not forget that Zandik went to that temple a long time ago, so we may learn even more about the Dottore past. After all, so many things are linked to the Doctor in Sumeru. That's where he lived part of his life. He met Thoth long ago. Kale was one of his experiments. He manipulated Scaramouche into becoming a god, and so on. We may also get more King Dreshreth's story, involving forbidden knowledge too. As we see Jet and Lilupar, I assume we will. Then we have Nefer coming back, which is kind of surprise. I thought she didn't care that much about her country. Maybe it's because it's involved Dottore. Or maybe Thoth asked her to return with a magical chessboard, which belonged to him. We may finally see an interaction between her and Thoth. Anyway, it seemed we would meet all the Sumeru characters and World Quest NPC. Also, we have Apep returning. And at first, she seemed to be attacking Aru village with her minion. Could the Fatui invasion be the cause of this? Probably yes. One thing is certain, it's really bad for Sumeru. At least it seemed Naida would be able to talk with Apep and stop her, maybe even succeed in forming an alliance with her. It may be only temporary, however, as the dragon clearly say, but there will come a day when we reclaim the world itself. Overall, this Archon quest is going to be quite something, and will have a huge impact on the future story of the game. Human Soul is basically like a hard drive. It contains all the information about Teyvat since the arrival of the Heavenly Principle. What will happen if it gets destroyed? Well, it will probably cause chaos across the entire world and could erase history itself, even changing someone's fate. People's memory will be affected, which could drive some insane. Some name may be forgotten forever, and even people themselves could be completely erased. So yeah, it's going to be pretty bad, especially for the Heavenly Principle, as Human Soul is one of the main tools that help them maintain control over the world. If the Fatui succeed in destroying it, which they probably will, the Heavenly Principle are going to be severely weakened. And that's what the Sarissa wants, before you wake up from his slumber. This is our first direct act of rebellion that will truly hurt the Heavenly Principle. Surely they will intervene this time. I mean, since the God Limit, the Three Shades said they will intervene against the Sarissa, but they still haven't done anything yet. Here's what I think could happen. Virus Dottore will mostly succeed at destroying Human Soul, and we won't manage to get rid of him until a Shade arrives to help and delete the virus. I don't believe all three of them will show up, as having all of them remove the virus is unnecessary. Niberius, right out near, is most likely the one who will appear, as Human Soul represents life to some extent, and she is the perfect candidate. After a short conversation, she will disappear, with a warning that a great disaster is coming. Burning Human Soul was a declaration of war against the gods, and so a war between the Heavenly Principle and the Fatui is coming. A great start for the next chapter in Chesnaya. So, that's all I wanted to say about what we saw in the trailer and the upcoming Archon quest. I didn't speak much about the new characters, as I don't have much to say about them except for maybe two things. With Nicole, we may finally get more history about the angel, especially the first angel and her husband. As for Lowen, I think the part involving the Dottore laboratory in Mondstadt is from his story. I believe Lowen has some kind of connection with the Doctor. Aside from that, I believe I covered everything. And you guys, what do you think will happen? Is Imran's soul going to burn? What impact could that have on the story? Please leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more theory, lore, and analysis content. For playthrough and livestream, check out my second channel, Panagon Voldemort Gaming, where I stream most evening at 7 PM EST. Thanks you all for watching, and until next time, may the Moon Maiden watch over you.